Okay, welcome everybody, and hopefully I'll have a couple more people pop in here, but we're just gonna get going because time is of the essence. We want to respect everybody's time, but tonight, number one, we probably will go over, just FYI, probably just a little bit, but also that's going to be some participation from you guys a little bit later as well. So, but we're maybe like 10 minutes or something. We'll keep it as a minimum, but I think it'll be worthwhile to go ahead and do that tonight. So team training, October 11th, 2018. Welcome everybody. Tonight is going to be a little mid-month kick in the pants, if you will, if you want to say that. Just some things that I've been kind of seeing and some things that some other leaders have been seeing. So we're just going to kind of lay it out, and all this is in love, of course, because we want to see you guys get to wherever you want to go with what we have here. So I have Tammy and Kate lined up to help us out tonight, and I'm going to let Tammy kick us off. So we're just going to get right into it because, again, I think we're going to have we're going to have some great content for you guys and for us as well, and then we kind of want to have a little Q&A session at the end, so we'll save plenty of time for that. So Tammy, you are up. Are you done eating? That's the first question. Are you done eating?
No, it's okay. I've been eating for the last 40 minutes, so it's okay.
Okay.
So essentially, like as Jason said, we're kind of like giving this like mid-month kick in the pants, but which is more important than the mid-month is like this is the season of like where if you sow your seeds, you're going to see it pay off. You may not see it pay off today or tomorrow, but in the next 3 months, like we're headed into super greatness. So don't let the season get to you, because we have all been here before, and I will tell you that there are good things to come. So one thing that we are seeing as leaders is crickets. And I'm not talking about bugs. I'm talking about lack of conversation and some coach threads. And when I think lack of conversations, like when suddenly it just goes mute, like there is nothing going on back and forth, no asking for advice or celebration calls or help with clients, like suddenly it just all stops. Well, as your mentors, if you're not asking for us and our time, you're essentially like, we're not here to drag you along or to make you do something you don't really want to do. Like there has been a time where you said, yes, I'm all in. I really want this. I want to make senior coach. I want to make ED. I want to get on that cruise. I want to do all of this stuff. And then coach threads go silent. And silence is not a good thing. Like as we know with our clients, if they stop answering our calls, 9 times out of 10, they're not on program. So just like in the coach thread, if you go silent, we think that you are backing off, and we don't want to push you over the cliff even further. So we might reach out once and try to create some conversation to bring you back in there. But if you don't reach back out, like we're just kind of gonna sit back and let you do your thing. We want to help you get what you want and to where you want to be. Like we don't make that decision for you, what you want, you do. That's why we ask you at the beginning of every month, what are you looking to do? With your map, where are your goals at for the month? And I'll tell you right now, like those maps are gold, huge gold, because they help buy out that aspect. But another thing that, along with the crickets, like, oh, I didn't want to bother you, or I know you're busy. No, actually, like, you're never a bother. Like, we love to help you, and we thrive in helping you get to your goals and where you want to be. But we choose when we want to work and when we don't want to work. And we always have time to answer a question. Yeah, maybe it might not be the split second you ask it, maybe we're on a phone call or something, but we're going to get back to you and we're going to help you, whether it's helping you find the answer or helping inspire you to grow yourself to find that answer. It's not always going to just be given, because we want to help you grow and help you learn as a leader yourself. Also with crickets, sometimes people, and like this is October, I think, and right now is one of those times of the year where, you know, you might be putting out a lot of work. You might think you're doing all the right work. You might think you're doing your posts, and maybe you're starting a couple friend requests. Maybe you're doing conversations, but how are your conversations looking? If you feel like you're struggling with that, reach out and ask your mentorship. Hey, I feel like I'm struggling in this aspect. We're not here to judge you, first of all. We're here to help. So if you say, hey, I feel like this is what's going on, then you open that door for help, and you open that door for growth, and to help get you into a better place from where you came from. Whether or not we say, yes, I feel like you're doing a great job, maybe I'd make a small tweak here or there. We're not going to be like, no, you're doing it all wrong. No, that's not what we do. We much nicer than that. Are you open to a suggestion? So you may not see the results again today. You might not see them tomorrow, but if you keep doing the work and you keep putting yourself out there, you keep inspiring somebody, you never know when that person's going to have that aha moment and say, oh my gosh, I saw your post last week, and that person really reminded me of myself, and I really made me think. Well, yeah, okay, I'd love start creating that conversation, open the door for that relationship. Or maybe just maybe you had somebody say something negative to you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you post all that stuff all the time. I'm sick and tired of seeing your posts. Blah, 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 blah. Well, sometimes that creates like this negative aspect where we call it paralysis, where you just kind of go silent because you let one person dictate your life, whether it's in your health or what your dreams that you want. Like, nobody wants to be told that they can't do something and they can't go after their dreams. But somehow, for some reason, you let that one person say something about your Facebook post, which suddenly derails you from every dream you've ever had. And it pushes you back. There are negative people out there in life all the time. It's whether or not you choose to let those people in, whether or not you choose to play above or below the line, kind of like that client support call last night, which was amazing. So definitely don't let somebody else write your own dream. Don't let somebody else tell you what you can and cannot do, what you can post on Facebook, what you can't post on Facebook. Because you know what? That person that might say something and might be that, oh, I can't believe you post all that stuff. They probably want what you have. They probably want that freedom, that, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's lost 104 pounds, and I could never do that. But I don't know why he's posting all that. So don't let them tell you that. You write your rules, you write your dreams, go after them. Don't freaking worry about what anybody says. And remember, like, people that blow up their coach threads are typically the most successful people, and definitely the ones that want to grow. They're those people that we are giving our time to because we want to help them. So feel free to blow up all of our phones all day long, because we truly do love it. That's me.
Thank you, Tammy. I wrote down a couple notes here. And if you guys haven't listened to Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business, you got to listen to that. Just listen to the sower and the seed story, or maybe you already heard it, but that's such a great story, and especially for this time of year too, is because, like, if you plant your seeds but you just leave them, right? You don't water them, you don't till them, you don't pull those weeds out, like those weeds of negativity from other people, they're not ever going to grow. And so just like throwing it out there and just hoping something happens it's not going to do it. And this is the season too. This is the season that you're planting all those seeds. I mean, if you're on the Valentine's train, you hear that too. But this right here is setting your 2019 up. Like what you do right now, you may not see any results in the next few weeks. You might see results, and that's great. But that's probably actually the work that you've done 3 months ago. It's actually what's probably showing up. So if you haven't been doing that work, don't expect to see it right now. Just plug that in, get clear on what you want from this, and just put that in regardless. Regardless of the result, you just do the work. And actually, one thing I want to say too is congrats on being on. Good for you guys that are on here. As you can see in Health Transformers, there's a lot more names in there. You guys are on here. So awesome job. Awesome job. That shows right there that you want something more out of this than what you have right now. And you know, you're not accountable to any of us. You are accountable to yourself. You are accountable to your dreams, to your family, to whoever this is going to serve in the future. Like, I want to see everybody have success and have everybody achieve their dreams, but you're not accountable to me. You're kind of accountable to those things that you want. And then, are you open for growth? I love that. Are you open for growth? Because when you hit those obstacles, you hit those bad patches, there's two things you can do. You can go hide in the corner, or you can say, guys, I can't figure this out. I need some help. And crickets won't get you any help. Crickets will not get you any help at all. So if you're at that point and you're banging your head against the wall, you're doing all the work, and you feel like you're putting in the time, well, guess what? That's time to reach out. And it could be two things. It could be just one, it's the season, or two, maybe there's just a little tweak, a little thing that you need to do differently. And guess what? That's what your mentorship thread is there for, to help you through that and to help you grow. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Kate, you are up next. Great job, Tammy.
What's up? So I think that is really nice. So first and foremost, hi, everybody. I've missed your cute little faces. It seems like I haven't seen anybody for a long time. So once again, great for showing up tonight. Like, we haven't had one of these in, hi, baby. We haven't had one of these for about a month. And so it's kind of nice to see everybody on here and really taking the time to grow themselves and grow their business. I think it's a big freaking deal. So props to you for showing up for yourself. We do have a cameo. I know that it's supposed to be all about me right now, but I see baby Riley, and she's so stinking adorable. So she's much cuter than I am. So Brian, if you could just give a quick baby shot.
You're going to have to wait a second.
Never mind. We don't want to see any of that. Okay. So kind of piggybacking off of what Tammy said, is like with the crickets and things like that. If you're not asking for the help, get in there and help, or, ask for the help. It is a non-judgment zone for sure. And I know from all of us that we are 100% present to help you. And once again, just to reiterate, because we can't help but do a Dan Valentinism and talk about what everybody else talked about, is honest to goodness, if we don't know what your questions are, we can't help you. And if your desire is to grow, you've got to ask those questions and be vulnerable. And then recognizing those times too, where you might ask the question a couple times, back from us, because you actually already know, and you know where to find it, and you've been led to it several times before. And my internet connection is unstable, as am I. I apologize if I just cut out there. So I'm good now. Okay, good. So with that, recognize that if you're not getting the answer and you ask again and you're still not getting an answer, it's because you already know, and you need to kind of do a little turn on yourself and be like, oh, I guess I do already know. It is going to help you grow. It's going to help you learn much easier when you find it on your own, just like your clients, than us giving you that answer. So I'm going to do a little, everybody can raise their hand. Do we have anybody here that's an overthinker? Is it just me? Okay, thanks, because I was feeling really lonesome there for a second. Okay, so as overthinkers, I know that we have had trainers, you know, talk to us about overthinking before. And then of course we overthink about them talking about overthinking, and then we have to analyze, and then we have to make sure that we have everything in a row, and it all has to be perfect before we like go live, because it has to have really, really good message. And we have to have the exact right words because everybody's watching, like the entire universe is watching. And so we really can't mess up because I have to be perfect and it's going to be awesome. And wow, 3 weeks have passed and I still haven't done a go live. Has anybody ever experienced that train of thought? Okay, so how is that servicing you 3 weeks later with growing your business? Nothing. Okay, that's crickets. And so recognizing that you're an overthinker and that you tend to overthink, being able to stop, challenge yourself and say, okay, if I think this through for another 24 hours, is it really going to be any better? Probably not. Of course, I'm just going to use the whole go live thing because that's what popped in my mind. Press the freaking button, shake, stumble over your words, say absolutely nothing for 5 minutes, whatever it is, but just do it anyway. Don't let it paralyze you, and then you never go anywhere. It's kind of like you're getting in the car and then you put on the seatbelt, but you have no keys. You're going nowhere, folks. You might look like you're going somewhere, but you're just in a car. So if you're that overthinker, and if you tend to say, okay, now this next step, like I have to make sure that when I start this coach that everything is so perfect and this and that and the other, and I'm going to do it all on my own, and I know I can do all of this on my own because I can do this, but I'm not going to start them today. I'm just going to let them figure it out because, well, what if I tell them something wrong and then I do it all wrong? Okay, there you are overthinking. Knock it off. Get into your mentorship thread and say, I am unsure of what the next step is. Okay, and your mentorship team is going to come right alongside you, hip to hip, and help you along the way as you start those first coaches and build your business. Then when you get to your next coach, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Now I know that I can do this. And I'm going to ask the question and be like, hey, am I supposed to do this now? And your mentorship team, like, yes, this is exactly when you do that. How did you want to word that? That's perfect. Go for it. And then when you're on to your next one, you're actually able to do it on your own and you're not overthinking because you've gone through that process. So stop letting that overthinking paralyze you because you know where you want to be, but you're still sitting in the car with no keys. Knock it off. Oh, you. Okay. Does anybody have or notice, oh, there's the baby. Do you see the baby now? Good timing. Hi, Riley. So this is our next, generation of Optavia. So here's something fun. Great question for Brian. Do you have a fear of failure in your life? Okay. So if we can just use Riley, since she is the star of the show, to say, do you have any fears of failure as a father?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think you're going to overcome some of those fears?
Just kind of take it as it goes. Like, just kind of put my head down and go with it. I mean, you learn as you go. You're going to make mistakes. You just learn from them.
Yes. And hopefully they don't show up too messed up later in life, right?
Hopefully.
All right, sweet.
Hopefully.
So what you got to do is you have to make sure that you're doing the best that you can with the knowledge that you currently have. Keep learning because each day is a new opportunity to learn. Learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat those. Or if you do, give yourself a little bit of grace. Sometimes spit up happens and you don't notice it for a really long time and then their neck stinks. Oh, well, give them a bath. Okay. So taking that and kind of translating that into your business life, that fear of failure, like, okay, I really want to be executive director, but that is really scary because I'm not quite sure how to do that. And I'm not quite sure how to get there. I'm not really sure what happens at that point. And I'm really not sure what I'm doing right now because, well, I'm overthinking the fact that I want to become an executive director, but I'm so afraid of really what's going to happen. And I don't really want to tell these mentorship teams over here because they might really judge me because they're really judgy people. And I'm just going to sit on my hands. Okay, knock it off. Okay, if that is something that's pulling you back, recognize that you have that fear of failure and do it freaking anyway. When you feel that point of most resistance, that is right at the edge of breakthrough. You are almost freaking there. Put on a helmet and push through. Does that make sense? Am I talking to myself? I don't know. I like to see that. I love to see the bob, and like everybody's in the back of the car with the dog. You know, anybody ever have one of those in the car? Okay, I'll stop. So those are my points tonight. That's what I wanted to go with. Jay, back to you.
Thank you, and thank you for your head bobbing reference. That was great. And your stinky neck. That was nice too.
It's just life. If you've never had kids, you haven't had stinky neck.
We know all about it.
Than me,
we know
right?
all about it. When you're like, oh, whoa, what happened there? So, I love what you're talking about, though. You know, so I do not have the problem of overthinking. I am more of the, oh, okay, let's just go. We'll figure it out. We'll wing it, guy. So, I'm on the other side of that, which maybe sometimes I should think things a little bit more. But there's a quote that always resonated with me when I think about someone that's overthinking, or someone that has to have something perfect before they do it. And perfectionism is the ultimate procrastination. Like, you could sit there and you will never get it perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And the time you think you got it perfect, you're going to post it and you'll be like, oh, shoot, I didn't get it perfect. Oh, I had a piece of lettuce in my teeth. Oh, no. Like, it's just not going to happen. And also, when people see that, it's not natural, right? Because, I mean, before doing lives, I used to do a video that I was going to post like 10 or 12 times. And I'd be making Eileen be quiet the whole time. And I'd get like 75% done with the video, and I'd say a word wrong, and then I'd start all over. And then I get, 30 seconds into it and forget what I was going to say. It's so much better. Just do it live. It's authentic. People can relate. They can see like, oh, he screwed up. Actually, people don't even care. Like, you screw up and stumble over your words. They're not on the other end laughing at you. They're just waiting for you to pick it back up and then move on again. So I know that holds a lot of people back. And it's not just the Facebook Live. I mean, it's the sending that message to somebody that's on your scared list. It's talking to that lady that's sitting next to you that you really love to be able to help. It's striking up that conversation and just saying, hey, how are you? I've never said hi to someone and them get mad at me about it. Like, I've never smiled at somebody in the grocery store and them like, you're a real jerk. Stop smiling at me. I haven't had that happen yet. But there's a fear there. And just try that. If that's your step one of busting past your fear, is just smiling at somebody when you're walking through the grocery store, just try that. It's going to amaze you, the reaction that you get from somebody. Or just saying good morning. Like, if that's, one of the things holding you back, just start with that. There's people that are naturally just talk to everybody. I'm a little bit of an introvert. Like, sometimes I just want to put my head down and not bother anybody. But now, like, I try to make eye contact. I try to say hi. I try to smile. Because who knows what that could, not that it's anything to do with business, but who knows what that could do for somebody else's day. And being that person, right? That's the whole being an Optivian, is being a light into somebody else's dark. So, do it scared. Just got to do it scared. Like, this whole thing is about doing it scared. If you watch Monday's training, I mean, how many of you started this thing thinking, I'm going to be a health coach? I don't see any hands up. Oh, I'll put my hand down because it wasn't me either. I did it scared. I was scared when I started the program because honestly we couldn't afford it. I'm like, sure hope this works because we don't have the money for it right now, but we're going to figure it out because I need it. Sure glad I did that scared. I'm sure glad I decided to sign up and spend $200 on my coach kit and hoping I found 4 clients so I could pay it back. And then after that, it was a win. And that was my number one goal. My first goal as a coach is if I can pay back my coach kit, everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to cost my family any money because we didn't have it. So doing it scared, guys. That's it. All right. So I been doing this longer than anybody on here. And it hasn't, it's not that long. I mean, in November will be 4 years, but I've seen a lot of things in 4 years, and I've seen a lot of people come and go in 4 years, not just in our organization, but other organizations. And it frustrates me. It frustrates the crap out of me when I see it, because I understand for lack of a better term, the gold mine that people are sitting on with this opportunity that we have, with what coaching can do in your lives. And, like when Tammy's talking about crickets, a lot of you, and I know a lot of your stories, I don't know all of them, but a lot of you have some dreams and you've said them out loud. And I hope that wasn't lip service. I hope that was, this is actually what I want to do. But maybe I'm scared of it because I'm not sure that I believe it. And so what we do is we take that dream, we take that gold mine, and because we're scared, or maybe we don't believe, maybe there's fear of failure, we bury it in a bunch of excuses. We bury it in a bunch of reasons we can't do it, which is just excuses. I have them too. Trust me. I'm not saying this out of not having them, because I think we all have them. Does everybody have them? Am I the only one that can come up with an excuse of why we haven't been more successful, or why we haven't done more with it? So what I want to say here is let's put them aside and know that they're not real. Half of them aren't real. There might be some specific situations where life gets crazy and there's nothing else you could do about it. But for most of us that say, oh, I don't have the time. Yeah, right. How much time do you spend? What's your favorite show? If you can answer that question, then you have plenty of time. Because if I'm saying, if you put in a half an hour of work into your business every day, and in 6 months you can completely change your life, or in a year you could double your income for an extra 30 minutes or half an hour or an extra hour a day, 30 hours a month, you could potentially double your income, but you make your excuses more important. Make the reasons why you can't do it. Well, I don't know enough people. Guess what? There's a crap load of people out there that have no idea what Optavia is. I could go to the mall and ask 100 people what Optavia is, and I guarantee you a handful of them will say what it is, or like, oh, I think I've heard of that. If it's, oh, my journey, I'm not done with my journey. Nobody's thinking about you and your journey. They're thinking about, hey, you lost 15 pounds. I want to lose 15 pounds. Hey, you're in a pant size that you haven't been in 10 years. I'd like to do that. I'd like to be my pre-baby weight. Well, I guess at my pre-baby weight too. That doesn't matter. Nobody's out there judging you. And they're not worried about you. They're worried about what they want. If it's, oh, hey, I'm not getting support from my mentorship team. Well, Tammy just busted that one out. There's people here that want to help you. If it's not us, it's somebody else. But everybody here wants to help you. And there's the other side of it. It's not up to them. It's up to you to make the decision to do it. You can't say the program doesn't work because it's not the program. You can't say it's expensive because there's people making it work no matter what. I made it work no matter what. And once I found the value, I could care less about the cost. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. So once we start taking those excuses out, what happens is we start seeing that dream again, and we start doing the work to actually get there. Because that's the only thing that's going to do. It may take you longer than somebody else. Somebody may come in and in their first month they hit executive director and they're making $2,000 a month. That's not your story, and that's okay. Your story may be it takes you 6 or 7 months to get there. It takes you 2 years to make $5,000, $10,000 a month. But guess what? I know this. If you stick to it, it will happen. Because 1, we have a system. 2, you have support. 3, we have an amazing, I don't want to say product, we have an amazing gift to give people. We're giving away health. I mean, we're selling health, whatever you want to call it. And 4, the only thing that's going to ever hold you back is you and not committing to the things you need to do to grow as a person. So that way it will also help you grow as a coach. Everything follows you. I did a video yesterday or today, I think. Yes, today. And I titled it, You Get What You Give. And I'll do it really quick. Basically, there's a bread maker and a butter maker. The bread maker bought a pound of butter from the butter maker every single day. After a while, the butter maker the bread maker decided to weigh the butter. And he's like, I'm going to weigh this butter. I'm going to figure out what this is. Well, the butter did not weigh a pound, and he'd been buying it for years. So he sued the butter maker. And the judge asked the butter maker, it says, do you weigh your butter? And he's like, well, I don't get the exact weight, but I do put it on a scale. And he's like, well, what do you compare it to? He's like, well, I've been buying a pound of bread from the bread maker for years now, and I weigh my pound of butter against the pound of bread. So the moral of that story is the bread maker was not giving his all, and he's expecting the return of it. So are you giving this your all? Because if you're not, don't expect the return. Everything follows what you do. It's all like a progression of time. It's that 3 months or whatever, like this is the time. You may not see the results, but you give it all and you're going to get it later. So that's what I've got for you guys tonight. I hope that's helpful. I know we kind of like, this is kind of like a heavier Zoom. Maybe it's a little kick, but we'd love to actually pull on some of you guys if you have any thoughts on it, if you have any ideas how to move forward, maybe how to get past some of those obstacles, or even questions. If anybody's open to hopping off real quick and sharing, we'd love to do that. So who's going to be the brave one? Who's going to kick? Who's going to get past being scared? Let's see. Maybe nobody.
No one.
And that's crickets.
Okay, Jason.
All
Tamara's
right,
gonna
Pam.
kill me.
There you go. Good job. Good job.
Tamara's gonna kill me. I have a question. You being in this 4 years, is this kind of a typical thing that people go through, kind of a slump or something this time of the year, or is this just every individual thing? Do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah, it's different. It's different for everybody. A lot of times this time of the year is kind of a weird place, right? There's people kind of that have pushed off. Like I noticed like our month last month, just thinking back about that, it's like some people probably ordered in August, but then they weren't really on program, so then they kind of pushed everything. That's one thing. Also, it depends on the work that you did in the summer. Like, were you, June, July, were you on vacation at the beach? Well, maybe June and July were pretty good for you, but guess what? They just caught up with you. They just caught right up. And if you are continuing to work, maybe you're not seeing the results, that is setting you up. Like there's no way that you're doing the work now and it's not going to show up in the next few months here.
Okay.
So that's the mindset too, is it's tough because you're not seeing those results, but just know that continue that, it's going to show up. It's going to. And if you ever feel like maybe it's like you or something you're doing, that's when you plug into your mentorship team. That's when you go, hey guys, I just want to do like a quick check, make sure that everything I'm doing is right. You know, like we had a Zoom with one of our coaches today, one of their coaches, I should say. I'm looking through like their Facebook. Facebook looks great. Going through a few things. Oh, okay. Well, they weren't really starting conversations. Okay. Well, let's correct that. Let's start adding that into your daily work, because Facebook is actually 20% of the work. Just getting your brand out there, if you want to say. The real work is starting those conversations and connecting with people. So if it's ever that, you just do that. You know, just go through, check off, make sure you're doing everything right, and then you just keep plugging away.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your question, Pam. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I'll jump in.
Hey, Paula.
Hello. So I have 2 clients right now, and Brand, you know, I've been a coach for a few months anyway. I'm just sorry, babysitting.
You're okay.
Finally starting to come out of my shell, and it's all, you know, Kate and Tammy and Dee Dee have been saying all of this all along, and I finally posted pictures of myself yesterday, befores and afters, and it amazed me the comments that I got and the questions that I got, and I haven't done the lives yet, and I just feel that this whole meeting is about me. So sad. And I just can't thank you enough. And I'm getting there, again, slow but sure, but everything that you said, it just makes such a huge difference that it works. It's just hard to stop overthinking and finally coming out of that shell.
Well, good for you, and congratulations for helping 2 people change their lives.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And
Start.
yeah, it's a start. And you know what I love too is that, you know, you're getting the comments and all that on your picture, and we need to remember that what we have, people want. People are struggling. People are trying everything, and that's not working for them. And they want that, but our job is we've got to get it out to them. We've got to be able to get past that fear, and sometimes it's almost like when you are holding it back because you're fearful, you're making it more about you, right? So you can stay in your comfort zone. And listen, coaching is not always comfortable at all. And sometimes it's like one of the toughest things because it shows you all the things you need to work on. But man, it's rewarding when it pans out and works. And you get that message from somebody that's like, oh my gosh, I'm off medication. Oh, I've been waiting 20 years. Like, it makes it all worth it. So thank you for that.
All right, I'll jump off. You must have saw my mute button come off. So
I heard it.
So I've been struggling a little bit. I mean, you guys know I've been struggling a little bit. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that's kind of seeing a lull right now, because it was like 110 miles an hour for me in the beginning, and just like balls to the wall, excuse my French. But, you know, and now I've kind of hit that, I don't know, kind of dead space a little bit. I mean, I'm still doing my work. I'm still doing my 3-3-3, probably more than that. I mean, I know that I'm putting that work in. September was a little funny, you know, because I was gone. But, you know, I jumped right back on that horse. And I've been frustrated because I'm not used to not being crazy busy with share calls and client support. And it's almost been deafening quiet. So I'm struggling a little bit with my mindset right now because I was so used to having my the pedal on the floor, and now I don't really know what to do because I'm kind of stuck on cruise control.
Okay.
So
Well,
if I
you
come
do
off
make-
a little off in my coach thread, I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated. I'm sure you guys have all been through it. So
Yep. Well, that's your safe place, right?
right.
One thing I would say too is, well, and I guess you can answer this, Shelley, with just a shake of your head. Are you done? Like, have you hit your goal in your health journey?
No.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
So one of those things, when you feel a lull, that's always kind of taking it back to basics too, right?
Mhm.
Like
Which
number one,
which I've really been doing the last couple weeks.
get back in a fat burn. Get back where you can say, I lost 3 more pounds this week. Get back where you can be more than just before and afters, right?
Mhm.
Right? And then also, like, the tough thing at times where in these next couple months, and I'm not saying these next couple months are going to be bad for everybody. Some people have amazing months, depending on, like, okay, so example, real life. Our last month was kind of funky. It was weird. We've signed 6 new clients this month. Like, it's just a weird thing sometimes. And I know myself, like, I've been doing the work. Like, it wasn't that. It was just ebbs and flows. Like, it's just part of the business. And when you start thinking of it like that and you stop looking in the mirror and going, oh my gosh, what are you doing wrong? Oh, I got to change this. Oh, maybe I need to do this. Oh, no, you don't. You know it works. Just keep doing it and it's going to come. You might just have to hold on by the skin of your teeth and just be like, okay, I'm just going to trust this works. And then all of a sudden something turns. And all of a sudden you get like 3 messages in a day. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get started. Like it's just kind of, I mean, it's just a weird thing sometimes, but it's also a weird time of the year. Kids are back at school. Like apple cider donuts are out. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so that's all I could say is, number one, is your health journey on point? Yes or no? If it's not, get it on point right away. Because whether you say it or not, people know it.
Mhm.
Because all of a sudden, instead of you sharing some of your journey, all of a sudden they just see before and afters. Like, well, where'd Shelley go? Where'd that go? Where'd Jason go? So that's probably one of the keys. And then 2, just trust the process. And the process isn't always easy, but it's the process that works and has worked for the last 7. Well, I mean, since Dan came on, I would say the process is a little new than what it used to be, which is great. So, but it's still a process that's worked for 17 years. All right. So probably take one more and then we'll call it, unless everybody's good. Anyone else? Tammy or Kate, you want to add anything in?
Yeah, Kim just had a question real quick in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Kim, do you want to come off and talk about that real quick? No?
No.
So I'll speak to Kim because she's my girl. And then Jason, anybody can add in on it. So how many times in a month should you share your journey on Facebook? Honey, you can share your journey every day, just not the same part of your journey. So people on Facebook are most interested in you, most certainly. So when we say post those 3 times a day, you most certainly could post about yourself for those 3 times a day, but make it different parts of your day and your journey. And then the next day, most certainly posting a recipe, somebody else's before and after, some, type of inspirational quote. You can consistently share your journey every single day. Because guess what? Our lives are a journey. You see a lot of stuff about my kids on my Facebook wall, because guess what? That's my journey. That's my life. So I really am sharing my journey I'm not just saying, I lost 107 pounds. Yay me. I lost 107 pounds. Yay me. Don't do that. That's, nobody wants to see that. But they do want to see what bits and pieces of your life they can relate to. So if you go back through your Facebook wall over the last month of your consistency and you say, okay, out of these posts, which ones got the most action and conversation going back and forth? And I can guarantee you that they're the ones where you posted about your real life. So I'm going to go directly to Tim. Sorry for everybody else. But like with your granddaughter, those types of posts got people interacting with you about your life. That was a post about your journey. You're a grandma. These are the things that you do. That's what's getting you the most traction. People are really going to be engaged in you. And since we have taught about algorithms, the more engagement you have, the more Facebook recognizes that, wow, you're a pretty popular person. We're going to let more of your friends start to see your posts. And then when you have that talking back and forth in private messenger, they're like, oh, we're going to actually let even more of your friends see your posts. We're going to let that person see your posts first. So they actually see almost everything that you're posting, even still not all of it. So definitely, I think anybody on here that's been doing this for a while can attest to the fact that you just need to keep living out loud, and most certainly be bringing it back to yourself quite often, because that is what people are most interested in, but not, wow, this is how much weight I lost. This is how much weight I lost. It is, I can't believe that I just ran around after my lovely granddaughter for 12 hours. Wouldn't have been able to do that a while ago. Because that's your story and that's your life. Does that answer at all what you asked? Awesome. Anybody else?
I think that's a great time to close it out. And thanks for all of you holding on to the end here. So I hope this was helpful. And I mean, we're mid-month. Like Tammy said, if you hadn't filled out a map yet, go fill that map out now. Go adjust it. Go look at it. Go see where you need to move on from here. And then let's go. We can make October either the best month we've had or the setup to the best month we had. It's all
That's what I was just going to say.
Yep.
This could be still the best month that you've ever had, or the setup for the next 2 best months that you've ever had. Doesn't have to be January before your business blows up. That's just, your business can start blowing up the second you decide that your business is going to blow up. If you're going to decide that your business is going to remain stagnant, your business is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy of being stagnant. And if you're doing all of those right things and you feel like everything is in place and you're in your mentorship team and they're like, yes, you are in the right place, you're in the right place. So just keep freaking doing it. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, holy crap, how did this happen? Kind of like when you lost weight, right? Just boom. So, all right. Any announcements that we have to make before we let everybody go? Anything everybody needs to remember?
We have something cool in the works.
Oh, do we?
On it. Yep.
Oh, okay. Just
so we will be getting details out for that ASAP. But just
keep your eyes out for some new news.
Keep your eyes out, because it's gonna be cool. All right, that's it. Okay, guys, have a great night. Thanks for hanging on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Happy Thursday.